Come on. Do I sound like I'm joking? Do I sound like I'm playing? When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying? Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
Once again, we are on. He is the great Mike Steph. I am the Mojo King. This is Hidden Gems Football, brought to you by the 19 Media Group. Mike Steph, I'm back to bug you again.
No, it's no bug. It's no bother, my brother. No, it's great to see us on the screen once again, together, joined as one. Well, not joined as one, but joined on the screen as one, So I was just telling you off air that it feels so much freer to be the color man. But I really, truly do have the utmost respect. I always did, but have the utmost respect of what you have to deal with, especially when we have to chop each up and send each other different clips. And you have to kind of arrange them. So, I truly saw Hidden Gem Football from your viewpoint, and I don't like it. I'd rather be on this side. No. It was a great experience. I'm very appreciative that y'all gave me the opportunity. You gave me the opportunity to head the show, steer the ship, if you will, and on the official 19 Media Group property this year. So I guess that was my first salty edition on the 19 Media Group. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I got to say it was great. You did a great job. Next year I might just take a few weeks off and let you just handle it. It's conference championship time. The FL is down to their final four. First game up on Sunday will be the Washington Commanders heading to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. During the regular season, Washington was 12-5. Philadelphia was 14-3. The projected total here is 47.5 points, while Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite. That means Vegas is telling us the projected total score: Washington 20.75, Philadelphia 26.75. Forgive my intrusion on our podcast. I am here with the Christmas tree still here to give some updates as far as injuries. In case you don't know, we record this a couple of days before it's released. Injury statuses have changed. Figured I might as well give you the up-to-date information. So, as far as Philadelphia is concerned, center Cam Jurgens has a back injury. He is questionable to play. On Washington's side, center Sam Cosmi is out due to a knee injury, and defensive tackle Darren Payne is questionable due to knee and finger injuries. Back to Philadelphia for a second. Although he's not listed, it must be noted that Jalen Hurts was clearly banged up last week. He got his knee twisted, and he was limping around a bit, and they seemed hesitant to let him run. He's not been listed on the injury list all week. He's banged up. His knee's not 100%, but apparently he's been practicing, and they think everything will be fine. Real quick, I want to update the second game while I have you here. Safety Taylor Rapp for the Buffalo Bills is out. He's a no-go this week. And I mentioned Kansas City's wide receiver, McCole Hardman. He is out for this week and for the Super Bowl now. He is not ready to come off the IR. They don't consider him healthy enough. Now back to our regular scheduled program. Bye-bye. Mike Steph, who you like, Washington or Philadelphia?
I'll start with the Commanders first. The Washington Commanders finished tied for the second worst record in the NFL last season at 4-13. They had been a laughing stock for more than 20 years, especially under the ownership of Daniel Snyder. Now that era has been washed away, the Commanders pulled off one of the biggest upsets in divisional round history, beating the top-seeded Detroit Lions 45-31 to advance to the NFC Championship game. Washington hadn't even won a playoff game since the end of the 2005 season. Now the Commanders have won 2 this postseason. For Washington, it's another step in an unbelievable season of dramatic wins and a historic season from an electrifying rookie quarterback, Jayden Daniels. He became the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to have 300 total yards in back-to-back postseason games. Jayden Daniels has shown remarkable poise during this playoff run. He leads all quarterbacks in the playoffs in passing yards, and his 4 touchdown passes are tied for a playoff high. Receivers, De'Ami Brown and Terry McLaurin ranked 3rd and 4th respectively in postseason receiving yards. The loss of Cosme is going to be a big blow to the Washington offensive line, especially with the ferociousness of the Eagles. The Eagles, on the other hand, Saquon Barkley had yet another monster game against the Los Angeles Rams. And the defense barely held off the Rams' rally in the finishing minutes, in the final minutes, 28-22 this past Sunday to advance. Jalen Carter, defensive tackle extraordinaire, caused havoc on just about every single Rams offensive play this past Sunday. He was constantly in the backfield and in Stafford's face, wrapping up Kyron Williams, the whole nine. He finished the game with 5 tackles, 3 QB hits, 2 sacks, 1 pass breakup, and a forced fumble. Jalen Hurts, as we mentioned earlier, did suffer a knee tweak, and he was basically a statue in the fourth quarter, as evidenced by the safety that he took by not being his normal mobile self. This is the same player that broke off a 40-some-odd yard run in the first half, the first drive of the game, for a touchdown. Yet, he couldn't avoid a defender in the end zone. Now, when it comes to these two teams, I really believe it's going to come down, well, for Washington, their quarterback play, and Jayden Daniels, and nothing that I've seen so far leads me to believe that the bright lights of the championship game is going to phase him one bit. And hopefully not, but the lack of mobility by Jalen Hurts will put that much pressure on Saquon Barkley. So there's not many playoff games you're going to be able to win in a fashion in which your quarterback is not passing for any yards. So if he's a statue back there and he can't even have that threat of that run option, it's going to let them stack the box against Saquon Barkley. But here's an interesting tidbit. Do you know that the 2 long runs that he broke off against the Rams were also against an 8-man box? It's almost like he thrives, or y'all want to bring it up? Guess what? Once I get past the line of scrimmage, y'all have nobody behind y'all to go against me. So, getting to the kibbles and bits of the matter. The Eagles are favored by 6.5. Everybody knows my distaste for Nick Sirianni, my distaste for the Eagles fan base, and the only person on that team that I actually like is Saquon Barkley because he's a former Giant. So, with all that being said, I believe the Commandos are going to cover that spread. So, Commanders plus 6.5. And the over-under, I am going to go, surprisingly, over. Because, matter of fact, let's just put it this way. I believe in Jayden Daniels. So, Washington plus 6.5, over-under, over.
Just looking at these two teams, Washington won their last 5 games in the regular season heading into the playoffs, then defeated Tampa Bay in a close game with the last-second field goal, and then whooped the Detroit Lions. The Lions had a lot of turnovers, made some silly mistakes there. Meanwhile, Philadelphia has won 12 of their last 13 during the regular season, then beat the Packers pretty handily in the first round, shutting down the Packers offense, and then winning that kind of nip and tuck one with the Rams last week, with Saquon going for 2 big runs, 78 and 62 yards, and ran over 200 yards. I got to say, when I look at it, I have 2 minds here, really conflicting, which is going to make this for an interesting game to me. I think Philadelphia is the more complete, the better team. I don't even think it's particularly close. The thing is, Washington just seems to know how to win when they are close. Jayden Daniels has been unbelievable all season. McLaurin is a star. Old Zach Ertz is out there running around like a maniac. Brian Robinson's having a solid thing. Eckler's there. And of course, my nephew, Jerry McNichols, is out there scoring touchdowns in the playoffs. All right. So now, trying to take my biases aside, and I always do, because I'm a fan of no one. I feel like Star, the hater there. All right, anyway.
That is true.
My prediction, I'm really conflicted here because I want to take Washington plus the 6. because I think the game would be close, right? But my problem is, once I think the game is close, I kind of think Washington could win. So, although what I really think is that the Washington +6 makes the most sense, I'm actually going to take Philadelphia minus the 6, and this is why. Because, like I said, if it's close, I still think Washington will win. By the way, I said the same thing in Tampa. I thought Tampa was going to whoop them, but I said if it's close, Washington will win, and Washington won. And I'm saying the same thing here. I think if it's close, Washington wins. But the problem is Washington is ranked 30th versus the run, and you got Saquon Barkley running down their throat. And that leads me to believe that Saquon will go off once again. Philadelphia will start to pull away, and that defense will do enough to slow down the unstoppable Daniels. So I got Philadelphia -6. I don't like it. And because I'm taking Philadelphia -6, I'm going under.
Yeah, you be on that Philly bandwagon if you want. Shoot. I mean, crying in your cheesesteak. Yeah, that's a hot take right there.
That's a very hot take. Mike, Steph, would you do the honors?
The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 matchup. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. And if you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. Check out the promo tab to tell any of our Super Sweat Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Will Patrick Mahomes pass more than 1.5 touchdowns? Will Saquon Barkley rush for more than 95 yards? These are the types of picks I debate when playing Prize Picks. Just download the app and use the code CLNS, as Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as 15 minutes. Remember, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup.
Go Prize Picks. Da, da, da. All right. Next up, we have the premier game of the week, to me at least. The Buffalo Bills head to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Buffalo was 13-4 during the regular season. Kansas City 15-2. The projected total here is 47.5 points, while the Chiefs are 2-point favorites. That means Vegas is predicting that the Buffalo Bills will score 22 3/4, while the Chiefs score 24 3/4. As far as injuries, Buffalo has a couple on defense. Safety Taylor Rapp hurt his hip and is listed as day-to-day. Meanwhile, cornerback Christian Benford is in concussion protocol. We'll have to see if he could clear by Sunday. On Kansas City, the one injury that we're looking at is McCall Hardman, the wide receiver. He's been on injured reserve for quite a while. He's in that window that they're letting him practice. Andy Reid says we will see if he will be able to play this week. Mike, Steph, who you got, Buffalo or KC?
Well, I'll start with the Bills first. This will be the fourth playoff game between these franchises since January 2021 and the seventh overall. It will also be the ninth showdown between quarterbacks Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Now, here's a little recap of their most recent playoff matchups. January 23rd, 2022. In one of the most famous games in league history, the Kansas City Chiefs outlasted the Buffalo Bills 42-36 into the AFC divisional round. The team scored a combined 4 times in the game's final 2 minutes. Mahomes led the Chiefs on a 13-second drive to tie the game at 36. And after winning the coin toss in overtime, Mahomes found Kelsey from 8 yards out to win the game. Do you know that this is the game that led the NFL to changing the overtime rules? So historic in that manner also. Now, last year, the Chiefs won another postseason game against the Bills, this time in Buffalo. Listen. Bills kicker Tyler Bass missed a late field goal that would have tied the game. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce had 2 touchdown receptions and 75 yards receiving. Mahomes had 2 touchdown passes through the air, while Allen accounted for 3 total touchdowns. The game featured 5 lead changes, including 3 in the second half. And you have to feel that it's time for the Bills to finally get off the hump. Like, get over the hump. Like, if not now, when? They've gotten this chance due to a thrilling victory over the Ravens by holding them off in the last minutes. The game was decided with a minute 33 remaining when the usually sure-handed and wide open tight end Mark Andrews had Lamar Jackson's pass glance off his hands and his chest and his legs and fell incomplete on what would have been the tying 2-point conversion. Isn't it kind of apropos that the first game of the season, the Chiefs and the Ravens came down to a mixed 2-point conversion, and then the Ravens season effectively ends with a missed 2-point conversion? I swear, it's kind of spooky if you really think about it. Now, to advance to the Super Bowl for the first time since losing 4 straight appearances in the 90s, the Bills will have to do something they have never done in 35 years: win on the road in the playoffs. Buffalo is 0-4 in playoff road games under Sean McDermott, 3-12 overall, and has dropped 7 straight since a 29-10 win in Miami in the championship game after the 1992 season. Now, going on the other side to the Chiefs, despite the Texans having more than twice as many yards as them late in the third quarter, the Chiefs still led. Where have we heard that refrain before? Then there was a question of unnecessary roughness call on a hit to Patrick Mahomes, one of the few calls that had non-Chiefs fans screaming on social media and that led to a Travis Kelce touchdown and an 8-point lead. Everybody knew how this was going to play out after that. The Chiefs won 23-14 and are going on to their 7th straight AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes is 7-0 in divisional round games since he became KC's quarterback in 2018, which is another way of saying he has never failed to put his team in the championship game. Now, what you might not be aware of is this: it's been rarely a cakewalk to the cusp of Super Bowl Sunday. This was the first time in 5 years that the Chiefs actually won a divisional contest by more than 7 points. The previous occurrence was when they stormed back from a 24-zip deficit against the Houston Texans before winning by 20, 51-31. Since then, the average margin of victory in this round has been by 6 points. There's 16 wins this season, including this past Saturday's game, has been an average of 7.2 points. So, the line is Chiefs favored by 2. The over-under 47.5. I swear, I feel like pulling a Mahomes, like, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this game. I'm not going to make a pick. I'm just going to be like, go Bills, go Chiefs. I'm going to be equal louder on that. But being the fact that this is our job to make picks, some guy that's on to the other side of me, I am going to walk out on a limb and I'm going to say Buffalo +2. That's not even to say that Buffalo is going to win, but I feel like this is going to come down to the last play of the game. It's going to come down to either a made field goal or a missed field goal. So I'm going to say Buffalo +2. The over-under, I'm going to go surprisingly under.
All right. Yeah, I guess I have to make a pick this week.
Yes, you do.
I like to point out that last week I was so exact because I wasn't sure if Mark Andrews was going to catch that ball or not. You know, that's what it came down to. All right. As for this week, I'm not going to throw a whole bunch of numbers out there, but there are a couple of things I just need to point out. One, statistically, as far as yardage, Buffalo has been very mediocre this year, which stunned me. They're ranked 12th in offensive yards produced and 19th on yards given up by the defense. They haven't been giving up a lot of touchdowns, but they have been giving up a lot of yardage. You would kind of think Kansas City might be able to convert some of those. One other thing about Buffalo that's bothering me is Amari Cooper. When they got this man, they were like, all right, we finally have the true number one that we haven't had since Diggs left. Yes, I know Shakir is a good receiver, but he's not a true number one. Amari Cooper apparently is not either. 2 playoff games, 2 catches, 8 yards. Meanwhile, on Kansas City's side, they lost to Buffalo in later in the season, 30-21. In that game, Travis Kelce had 2 catches for 8 yards. Very comparable to Amari Cooper there. But in last week's game, when Kansas City beat the Texans, Kelce, 7 catches, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. I think Kelce has been playing possum, and all the Swifties will be excited when Kelce has a big game this week. The real question for Kansas City, though, is can they run the ball? Pacheco looks like a shell of himself after coming back from the injury. Kareem Hunt has been doing pretty well, but he is limited himself. Oh, this all leads me to the same conclusion I always have. Until somebody proves me wrong, I am not betting against Kansas City. Mahomes will find a way. Kansas City -2. And I think Buffalo will play well enough that this will go over. But my real bet for this week is Kansas City -2. Put it in the books.
I can see that. I can see that. Like, I kind of hedge my bet by, I just think it's going to be one of those like nip and tuck games, and I think it's more going with my heart that like I've been a proponent of Bills Mafia, which might get my Jet card revoked after all these years, but it's just something personal. Short, very, very short tangent because we're about to wrap up. During my formative years, I lived in Buffalo for about 6 months, and right before they made their journey to 4 straight Super Bowls, and for that town, for that city, to see them in the Super Bowl, especially after 35 years, would be amazing, and I'm really rooting for that. I used to live like literally 5 minutes away from the old War Memorial Stadium. So, and they would actually cut church service short for a Bills game, playoff game. You know, Communion Sunday, guess what? 45 minutes. Benediction. Amen. Go Bills! Okay, all right. Well, this has been a great addition to Hidden Gems Football. I'm glad to be on the screen once again, sharing the screen with my brother over here. If you don't get that chicken out my screen, this is my time. This is my time. This is my time. You could squeeze him. He can honk at the end. This is my time. Thank you. But like I said, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making us the football podcast you choose to view and the football podcast you choose to listen to. We appreciate the overflowing amount of support we got this past weekend, and hopefully we can keep it up. And like I said, we appreciate all y'all. So with all that being said, Hidden Gems Football has been a part of the 19 Media Group. Goodbye. Keep that chicken away.
This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
The ball. He threw it into double coverage off his back foot. And you can see Gibbs looking at him like, your problem. Like, why would you? And then the offensive coordinator shuffles on to Chicago. Oh, not my problem. See you next year. It's almost like he did shit on purpose.
Because the thing with the chicken, like when I did it, I almost said, yeah, like me, he picks Buffalo. And then like when I did it though, I was like, it's funnier if I don't say anything. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut out that part too.
You literally chickened out. That's what you did.
I literally chickened out.
That's crazy.
Why is that so big? Go Prize Picks.